Hey guys, this story's called The Sound of Birds Calling. I like walking at night because you can do stuff you can't normally. You can walk in the middle of the road and no one honks at you or tries to hit you or anything. One time a guy did that to me. Tried to hit me, I mean. I was thinking and I didn't hear him, so he came up next to me and tapped me with his bumper, and I fell down. Now I walk at night. The only thing out there, other than me, are the bird people. The first time I saw one, it was right before the first big snow. All the lights from the town were bouncing off the sky like it was a big ceiling, and I saw someone standing out in the old vacant lot where a burnt out store used to be. He was looking around and then scratching the dirt with one finger. I thought maybe he was drawing something. Then all of a sudden he leaned his neck back and he made a bird call. It sounded just like one of those little dusty looking birds that hang out with a million other ones in bushes. He looked like he was waiting for something and then he went off towards Maple. Just then a raccoon knocked over some cans and someone stuck their head out their window and saw me. So I had to run home before they recognized who I was. The next night I got up to leave for a walk because Mom and Pop were fighting again. My little sister Annie Lou wanted to go with me, but I said no. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, so I went down towards the park. I sat on the swings, but they were creaky, so I sat on the grass instead and just listened. I heard a little bird somewheres calling. I remembered that guy from the night before and saw a lady come up the road, walking in the middle of it like I do. She was making that little bitty bird call and kind of hopping along, like her shoes were tied together. Then a man, not the same one from the other night, came out from behind the city hall building, and he called back the same way. I got up real quiet and hid in a bush. They met up by the monkey bars and they stood real close together. And the lady was nodding her head all the times, like she was agreeing with what the man was saying. They were talking in bird language to each other. After a while, they left in different directions. After they were gone, I got up and went to the place where they were standing. I stayed there and just touching the grass and thinking until it started to get light out, and then I went home. Annie Lou started having bad nightmares, so I'd go and sit with her instead of walking. I opened the window in her room and listened instead. You can hear them if you listen. I think most people just ignore them, or maybe they don't hear them because no one ever says anything about it. They're always real quiet, the bird people, but they move all around, all strange. The hopping lady I saw a lot, almost every night. There's a little fella with a missing arm who shakes his head real fast, like he's saying no, 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 and another lady who bends in half but sideways, like an R. I've seen a few up by the church under the angel statues. You hear them chirping and then one by one they come to wherever the first one was and they stand around in a big group and talk in bird language. I found an old bird call in Pop's junk box, but it sounded like a duck. And the bird people don't sound like that. I asked him once after work if he could show me how to do a little sparrow call, but he just told me to go on, son, I'm busy. Even though all he was doing was sitting on the porch and looking at nothing. Davy next door can do a whistle with his fingers, so I got him to teach me how to do it, and it sounded pretty good. One night after that, I got out and went down where the bird people were, and I hid behind a big bush, and I made that call to see what they would do. They stopped talking and looked all around like they were nervous. I did it again, and one of the men made a call back, but it was different. It was kind of more drawn out. It called back, but he started doing it over and over. And soon all of them were doing it, and my heart started beating real fast. I saw a big woodpecker trapped in our sun porch one summer. It was beating itself to death on the windows and making that same sound. Pop caught him and put him in a tree, but then I went back later, he was dead. I turned and ran back home after that. I didn't talk to them anymore. I just watched. After about a month, I started naming them. The lady who hopped I called Baby because she sounded really little. There was a big man I called Buster because he flailed around a lot, and I wondered if maybe sometime he'd bust someone a good one. Then there was a tiny little gimpy man with something wrong with his legs, so I called him Stump. I don't think they knew I was hanging around, or maybe they just got used to me. What I liked was that they seemed happy to be around each other. I stopped going to school much. Sometimes I'd have dreams about them. They'd see me and they let me in the circle. I couldn't understand them, but it was nice being with them in that way, even if in real life they never let me do it. Then one morning, Pop caught me coming home. He must have gone in my room for some reason, and then that I wasn't there. He hollered at me and cussed, and Ma got real mad for him for yelling, so she hurried into my room. Annie Lou was crying when she fell asleep. She didn't want to wake up until Pop came in later to nail my window shut. After he left, Annie Lou asked if my friends were going to come visit me tonight. I asked what she meant, and she said sometimes, when I was asleep, she'd hear birds outside the window, and she'd see people standing in the yard. She said they were always looking in my window and that they just stood around and took turns watching me sleep. I went and put my ear to the window, and the glass was cool and nice. I stayed there for a long time and listened for the sound of birds calling. What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? That is so weird. What? Okay, well, it's gonna be some weird dreams tonight, man. See you guys later. Sweet nightmares.